We have the latest on Cody Rhodes' WWE return. A former WWE star has made their AEW debut, and potentially Roman Reigns' WrestleMania plans have been revealed. Stay tuned for the news. Oh, it's a cold Saturday, isn't it, Sam? It is freezing in here as well. I put the heating on before we started, but it's still not quite heated.
It feels like somebody's just sat on the other end of the room going...
Really is. I think it's because, you know, it's winter. It's minus like 3 outside.
The windows are all ice. It's a bad time.
Slipping all over the place. But we've got lots of wrestling news to cover, so we'll dive right in. We've got an update on Cody Rhodes because he's been out of action since Hell in a Cell. He had that horrible.
Yeah, that disrobing is still one of the most iconic recent moments, I think, in WWE history. But
right.
it was a hard watch.
It was a really tough
very
watch.
Hard watch.
Just that moment in the...
Oh, his entire side is purple.
Yeah, it's freaky to watch. But thankfully, Fightful Select have given us an update and said that Cody Rhodes will be back, well, fully expected to be back in time for WrestleMania. Now, I think he was someone who everyone thought would be at WrestleMania, and then when that injury happened, and it was like, he could be out for X amount of time. It was like 1, 2, 3. He might miss WrestleMania. It was kind of a shock. Now I'm glad to hear he is fully expected as the wording used. What do you think he'll be doing at the premium live event?
I mean, there was a lot of talk and speculation that Cody would be the one to tackle Roman, right? So I feel like you could still do that. You would need to have Cody back, not at 100% to, I guess, build to it, but you don't really need to do much physical because they're both so good at talking. But part of me still feels like Cody could be just inserted into that. But at the same time, is it going to be all right to just insert him like that sort of last...
After so many months out on the shelf?
Sort of on the build to it. So it depends, if he's able to be, a featured part of the show from Rumble onwards, maybe, like, even if he's just giving like satellite interviews and things and letting that build, then I think we could get a good run of time where there's sufficient hype by Mania.
Now, a couple of days ago, I think there was a photo showing of him training, and he looks hench.
Yeah, it's Cody.
He's shredded.
So the most driven human being I think I've ever met in my life.
Right? So hopefully he will be back in time, but WWE seems confident that he will be, as he was also featured in a commercial. They were shooting a commercial down in LA because that's where WrestleMania is going to be. So they were doing the thing. They had him locking up with The Miz.
Do you know SoFi can extend to 101,000 seats or something?
And WWE will fit in 150,000 people in that venue.
They better.
That'll be the number.
2 for 1. You can bring somebody with you, but they have to sit on your lap.
I wouldn't be surprised. Maybe not under the current leadership, but definitely under the old one.
Everybody bring your babies. They just count toward the total number.
I think that's the way to do it. That's how they inflate the number. I think that's what's been happening out in the FIFA World Cup, right? The inflation of the numbers. But I'm excited to see Cody Rhodes return. But another thing that could be returning in 2023 is on the AEW side, because AEW had quite a successful year for pay-per-views.
Yeah, they've been keeping it kind of trad, I guess, if you want to go back to the old school mentality of building to lesser pay-per-views per year rather than just kind of having them every month.
It definitely means that we're not overexposed to them, where it's not oversaturating their market. However, Tony Khan was asked at the Ring of Honor Final Battle media call this week about, will AEW be adding more pay-per-views? And he declined to answer. However, the Wrestling Observer has given us an update on that one, and they say that they do plan to add a 5th event next year. What do you think it'll be, Sam? Any guesses?
Reverse Battle Royal.
Bang on there. It's Reverse Battle Royal coming to AEW.
Just a one-match pay-per-view.
Just one match pay-per-view.
5 hours.
Yeah, that's the dream. That's what we want. But no, it's Forbidden Door, of course.
Of course it is.
Because we've not had enough Forbidden Door news this year. It seems to be that is, if there was a word of the year.
In wrestling, Forbidden Door.
Door. 2 word of the year. Yeah. But it's coming back next year. I'm not surprised. You excited for it?
I think they said that, Meltzer said it was kind of punched in for the summer, which I think makes a lot of sense because, if you've got people that have time off, maybe you've got the summer, you've got the weather, it's sort of nice to go and do a trip. So I think, it's definitely the event, the type of event that will bring people from all over the wrestling world, I guess, to come and watch it. So I think for sure, I'm quite excited to see what the matchups are going to be like.
We've got Kenny Omega back.
How we're going to kind of tread through it. Is there going to be any through line building into it? Is there going to be any sort of big shot coming out of it? Will this mean a closer relationship between New Japan and AEW? Well, there's so many
questions, right?
Yeah, and then you've got, like all the other stuff happening with New Japan where it's like, could they be getting closer with WWE as well?
Like, what's going on there? Because Wrestle Kingdom's coming up soon. We've got that in a couple of weeks' time. I think we might start seeing them set stuff up. That was really tough to say. Might start seeing them setting things up at Wrestle Kingdom, leading into Forbidden Door, whenever that may be in the summer. I'm really hoping we get to see Okada versus Omega again.
Yes, I think it's one of those matches where you might start to get a few people going again, but I mean, come on. You can't not watch that. If somebody's just like, oh, that's on right now, I'm going to watch it.
Exactly.
They could be 65 and I'd still probably watch it.
Right? They've done so much great work in the ring, but we're going to move over to WWE because we had Tom and Andrew reported yesterday that Matt Riddle is out with an injury, coming from PW Insider report there. We've got an update on that from WWE itself. What's the latest, Sam, on Matt Riddle?
So obviously Matt Riddle was beaten down quite mercilessly by Solo Sikoa on Raw. He did the spike and everything, probably just hammering him in the corner, laid him right out. But WWE have stated that Matt Riddle has been pulled from this weekend's live events, and then they confirmed that these reports on last night's SmackDown that Riddle will be out of action for 6 weeks due to the attack from Solo Sikoa. So 6 weeks is thankfully not a lot of time.
Not too much. It's he gets a nice Christmas.
Yeah,
he's getting Christmas. 6
She'll
weeks
be back
off
for the Rumble.
Yeah. He's got a great deal.
It could be anything. It could just be time off. It could be like a small like nagging injury that needs to just have a couple of weeks to heal. But either way,
he's had quite a big
year. He's going to be quite angry when he returns.
It'll be a good match. We'll get a good match.
Looking forward to just watching them beat each other to an absolute pulp. It's going to be great.
That'll be fun. But you mentioned returns there because we had another one on SmackDown. Well, kind of a return. Yeah. We'll count it as a return because during last night's SmackDown we had Kurt Angle celebrating his birthday.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Kurt.
Happy birthday, Kurt.
But during the main event Angle was celebrating his birthday, but he was interrupted by the Alpha Academy, who confronted the Olympic gold medalist and was just mouthing off at him, really.
They were angry they couldn't get into his birthday festivities because they weren't on the list, and yet Street Profits were able to just sail right in, and that did not sit well with them. It was sort of just your standard really nice Kurt Angle appearance where it's going to be a blast.
Well, to even the odds, after all that went down, Kurt Angle went to the top of the stage and he called on a friend to come out with a milk truck. Now that friend is none other than not Sam,
Gable Steveson.
It's Gable Steveson. He's back on WWE programming. Yes. But he drove a milk truck to the ring and then sprayed them all down with a milk bath.
Yeah, Gable had been around backstage through the night with Kurt. He was sort of Kurt's guest of honor, I guess, wasn't he? He was sort of walking around with him. He interacted with Braun Strowman, who was kind of like,
I really hated that segment.
We really want to get you up on the main roster. Don't spend too long. He was like an uncle at your birthday party when he's 6.
Bro, you're going to get these herbs.
All he was missing was like an ill-fitting suit, a limp cigarette, and basically the exact same mannerisms of, go on, we want to get you up here. Ooh. When you come up here, we're going to have a fight, me and you. But it sort of built and built and built. But we even had Chad Gable. Chad Gable. We had Jason Jordan. Obviously, we had Chad Gable because we were talking about Alpha Academy.
But we had Jason Jordan, the other half of the former tag team. And it is Kurt Angle's son.
Yeah.
You completely forget that.
He got him a handmade macaroni card.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I want that for Christmas.
I'll see what I can do, mate.
Thank you. Well, we've got another return, or a debut, I should say, over on the AEW side of things. Sam, do you want to tell me a little bit about it?
So Orange Cassidy was defending his AEW All-Atlantic Championship during last night's AEW Rampage. Kip Sabian had been tasked with finding a challenger for the championship, and he picked none other than a former NXT Tag Team Champion.
Who could it be?
And this was really unexpected.
Yeah.
And I don't know why it was so unexpected, but I like it. I like it.
Yeah.
It was Trent Seven.
It was Trent Seven.
Trent bloody Seven.
I don't have a mustache. You've got a mustache at the moment.
It's
do
a terrible one, but
it counts.
There you go.
Oh, we can do that. Yeah, there we go. But Trent Seven's in AEW now, and it seemed to me like it was a one-off appearance based on how he came across.
Yeah.
When he came out for his
we've
entrance.
seen these before. Random open challenges, and we'll have people come in and that's sort of it. That's all you really see of them.
However, he was part of a post-match beatdown, and he had a brawl with Dustin Rhodes.
Yeah, so it's indicating that maybe
Trent Seven's joined AEW. We've not got a confirmation on that.
There's no kind of report. There's no graphic. There's nothing else. But it feels like he's definitely going to be sticking around for a little bit longer than just the one-off appearance type deal. Mm-hmm. He's somebody who I could see working quite well with AEW. If I'm being honest, I don't want to make it sound like because there's no real other way to say this. I don't want to make it sound like he's old, but it's like elder statesman mentality with him. He's been doing this so long, and he's been through the rise of the Brit Rest scene and everything that went with that. As the balloon grew and progressed, and other companies got bigger and bigger and bigger, and then he moved over to WWE via NXT UK, and then obviously had success with Tyler Bate NXT. They were always an interesting and an enjoyable watch. The pair of them, whether wrestling together or solo, they're entertaining. And I think that having that kind of mentality and mind for it that he seems to have, combined with the entertaining side and combined with the fact that he can kind of mix things up stylistically, good fit.
He'd be a decent coach
definitely
as well
against
for any young folk. Yeah, him and Dustin could have a great match.
You're right, like trainee level stuff. Like he must be able to just dispense wisdom like nobody's business.
Well, maybe we'll see him continue on in AEW in the future, but we're going to round things off today. We mentioned at the start of the video, Cody Rhodes is coming back potentially for WrestleMania. He's fully expected to be there. Well, one of the options for him has potentially been revealed because Roman Reigns is currently undisputed WWE Universal Champion.
He's the big old
and we're still not sure really what's going on with him at WrestleMania, but the Wrestling Observer has given us a slight update on that. So he states, one of the things talked about internally in WWE is for Reigns to wrestle both nights at WrestleMania, with the working ideas being Cody Rhodes and Dwayne Johnson. And if anyone doesn't know who that is, he looks a lot like The Rock.
Yeah.
And it says nothing is definite, and Meltzer concedes. Actually, today the best bet is that this won't take place, go down like that. But there's also talk of splitting up the titles, so Raw has a world champ after WrestleMania. So in my mind, you do Cody Rhodes night 1 for the WWE Championship.
Yeah.
You do The Rock night 2.
Can you have which title is he going to lose? Because
WWE.
Can you have The Rock win a belt?
No.
Then you can't have Roman lose first night, surely.
I think you can, because he's going to get a win over The Rock.
Show, there's like a cold close to the show. Yeah. The credits come up, it fades to black. Roman's just sat backstage having a little sob. He's just bubbling, bless him. And up walks Dwayne and he's like, look, cousin, I'm going to cheer you up. Let's have a match. There you go. That's it.
Well, he's no longer. He's then got to. The Rock comes back and is like, I'm the head of the table now. Then
this is it. I think that you're proving that Roman Reigns is an absolute machine by having him wrestle main event both nights. If that is indeed going to be the case for both nights, and I think that there's so much good, compelling storytelling you can do over 2 nights. Yeah. With the idea that, could you imagine if something major happens at the end of night 1 and it looks like Reigns maybe can't compete? The media is just going to be a buzz all day in the build up to that main event against The Rock. And then, so I mean, and it's LA. You got the room for other celebrity wrestler cameos.
It's an exciting WrestleMania. I've not been this excited for a WrestleMania in a while because one, it's Triple H's first WrestleMania in charge.
Yep.
We might have The Rock back, and we might have Reigns losing the belt because it feels earned now at this point. But that's a few months away. In the meantime, that is all the wrestling news we have for you for video 1. We will be back later on today with video 2. I'm off to try and get warm, and hopefully this room will be heated up by that point.
I'm going to just go and rub myself against the radiator.
That's all we do here. We will speak to you later on.